Most of us love a good scary story, creepy folklore, or urban legend. They exist all over the world, and it's fun to hear them all. These are my picks for the top 5 scariest African legends. The first one is Pinky Pinky. Don't let the name fool you. This legend is very creepy. It's a South African urban legend about a creature described as looking like a tall, pink-skinned, effeminate male or a creature with pinkish skin that looks only half human. It lurks where girls or women can be alone and vulnerable, like bathrooms or on the edge of the woods. It's especially set off by those who wear pink. And the strangest part? It can only be seen by girls and women. Number 2, I have the Central African legend of the Boloko or Eloko singular. They are small, dwarf-like beings that live deep in the rainforest. But don't let their size fool you. They are heinous creatures said to be inhabited by the spirits of ancestors with a grievance against the living. The Boloko have no hair and grass grows on their skin. Some even have lush beards of grass, making it easy for them to hide amongst the trees and leaves of the forest. They love eating human flesh, have sharp claws and long, stretched out mouths that can unhinge like a snake. They guard the natural riches of the forest, something they believe belongs to them. Only people with high magical ability can enter their world to hunt or gather and hope to survive. It is said that the Boloko are so frightening that those who come along with someone who can enter the forest faint upon even the sight of them. Besides being physically vicious, they are also capable of derailing people mentally with their magical charming prowess that gives them the ability to slowly penetrate a victim's mind, if they let it, making them willfully comply with the Aloko's vile desires. Number 3 is the Popobawa. The Popobawa is a shape-shifting evil entity whose name translates to batwing. Besides a bat, the Popobawa can shift into any human or animal form. It is said the creature was put on earth by a powerful person seeking vengeance. But the person wasn't powerful enough to maintain control of the creature, leaving the Popobawa free to wreak havoc. In its true form, the Popobawa has gray skin, a small head, pointy ears, and one big eye in the middle of its forehead. But in any form, it gives off the faint smell of sulfur. So keep your nostrils open, as that and the shadow of its large wings may be your only warning before it attacks. Don't believe it? You may want to think twice, as non-believers anger this beast, making them prime targets. Number 4 is a tale that comes from Somalia. It is the legend of Degder, which translates to long ear. A long time ago, the Degder was a normal human woman with a family, until something changed her, perhaps a cut from a very strange plant. After that, she felt odd, but mostly very, very hungry. Soon she saw her son chopping wood, and she suddenly knew exactly what she was hungry for. Completely powerless to stop herself, she snatched the axe from her boy and struck him down with it to get to his blood. Later, when her husband came home, she stabbed him and drank his blood as well. After drinking the human blood, her body began to change. One of those changes was her ears growing larger. Still thirsty, she preyed on villagers who were alone and vulnerable after that, especially children who wandered away from their parents or got lost in the forest. The 5th legend on our list, our final legend, sounds like it'd be an interesting place to visit. It is the Castle of Good Hope. South Africa's oldest colonial building is the Castle of Good Hope, a bastion or star fort, built in the late 1600s. It made my list because people have been seeing spirits there since at least the late 1800s. Reports include hearing footsteps where none should be, lights turning off by themselves, and even seeing people that aren't there. One of the most haunted stories involving the Castle of Good Hope surrounds former Governor Peter Gijsbert van Noot, who came to the fort in 1727. Supposedly, he was a cruel and dishonest man. He allegedly embezzled from his soldiers' pay and upped the punishment for desertion to death, which he carried out on those desperately trying to flee his ways. One of the men he sentenced to death used his last moments to place a hex on the cruel governor when he lacked the respect to even show up to the execution that he ordered. The point of the curse was to force the governor to face the torment and death that he caused. The governor was found dead later that same day, and it is said he is cursed to spend eternity at the fort marinating in his deeds. Besides Van Noot, a woman called Lady Anne Barn, who inhabited the fort while alive and reportedly loved to entertain high-caliber guests, is said to still reside there as a ghost. She can especially be seen if there are important guests visiting. A connoisseur of the finer things, she was the reported owner of the famous cursed painting hanging in the fort. The painting is said to be covered for the protection of visitors, because it curses anyone who gazes upon it, let alone touch it. While many ghosts are said to lurk within the Castle of Good Hope, might have transcended the fort in recent times, the once popular Grey Lady, a gray weeping ghost, has not been seen ever since the bones of a woman were found while digging was going on the property. The theory is that the bones found were hers, and that this act set her free. Former humans aren't the only ones haunting the property. There have also been reports of a ghost canine who lunges on the guests, then as fast as he attacks, disappears into nothingness. The area that is said to be the most haunted, as it is saturated in torture and torment, is where the prison used to be. One particular part of this area, dubbed Dark Hole, a small windowless prison cell and a one-time torture chamber. Supposedly, even modern-day guards at the Now Museum hate going into that area at night and have reported seeing strange and scary things there. That's not the only hotspot for paranormal activity at the Castle of Good Hope, though. A soldier once sadly committed suicide in the bell tower. The tower has since been sealed off, but visitors still claim to hear the chiming of bells in a ghostly tone. That's it for today's legends. If you want to hear more stories like this, consider subscribing to The Haunted Moon.